Welcome to another, well, I guess this is another film related video. I seem to be doing that quite a bit right now. I don't know what the deal is, but it's just how it is right now. Yeah, so this right here is a Patterson tank. This is what I use to do multiple rolls of film, or just a roll of film if I feel like using this one, as opposed to my lab box, which is next to me over there. I've seen a few tutorials on how to do this and how to load this. A lot of people do it in daylight to show you how it works. The thing that I usually see in their videos is they're looking at everything that they're doing while they're doing it. And that's not actually what happens when you're loading a roll here. So I'm gonna do this blindfolded. I don't use a dark bag. I have a dark room, but if you have a bathroom or a closet or something along those lines with no light that you can patch up the doorway and or kind of seal off the edge to block out all the light, then you can do this in there. I'm just gonna disassemble everything right quick just to kind of get everything laid out. The point is to get your film, not in the light, out of the canister into this spool here and make it as easy as possible. A lot of people that do the dark bags will swear by them, but I personally don't think I could handle moving that stuff around and clipping and all that fun stuff. That's why I personally prefer the darkroom method, just because you can have everything out. The risk of you getting all sweaty in the hands and whatnot is a little bit lower. I know I kind of tend to get these nerves, these anxious nerves going, because I don't want to mess things up. I can have the fan on low to kind of keep things cool and circulating while I do this in the dark. So far I've had really good luck doing this. I haven't had any real issues. In fact, I've had some problems loading a film that was a little bit more rigid because I wasn't in a dark bag. I was able to kind of like move things around and take care of what I needed to get taken care of and load it back on just fine. So here's kind of my, this isn't a tutorial, this is just kind of how I do it. I get all my stuff set up before I get anywhere near turning off the lights. So I will try to have everything laid out where I think I will have easy access to it. The main thing is, let me move this out of the way. I'm only gonna load one and load it in here for this example. The main thing is, once you get this loaded, you wanna get it on the spool, into the can, so to speak, with the top loaded and clicked into place. Once it's in here, once that's clicked into place, completely light safe, should be good to go. This just goes on top here to twist things. But yeah, I wanna make it as easy as possible to get in and out without knocking anything off a table, without dropping anything, without cutting my hand. I will get to that in a sec. So I will have everything laid out, ready to go, like so. The lid's not important. You can put the lid off to the side somewhere, because you can do that once the lights are back on. So I will get everything kind of set up how I feel like I'm going to need it in that particular situation. Sometimes it changes, but this is kind of what I do when I get everything laid out. What's important to note is you are going to need a pair of scissors, because what you're going to need to do is cut the kind of that little leader off, and you're also going to have to cut it out of the canister. A couple other quick notes. If you have a film retriever tool, you can remove said film, get your leader out just fine. If you don't, you will need to pop the cap off or brute force the whole thing and get your film out. I have a couple of film retrievers that work really well. One of them not so much, but one of them does work really well. The other trick is just to learn how to unwind your film with the leader still intact. That could possibly be a different video, or you can just search for a video right now if you want to. Well, after you're done with this. I'm going to sacrifice a brand new roll of kit mirror for this example. So yeah, while everything is in the light right now, I'm not gonna turn off the light, by the way. Don't think we're gonna like go into the darkness. I'm just gonna do a voiceover. No, we're gonna do this all right here, except I'm going to put on a blindfold to make things legit, so to speak. First thing I tend to do, cut the leader off and kind of put that aside wherever I am. In my darkroom area, I have 2 desks set up next to each other with a chair. So I will usually be sitting down while I'm doing this. I'll have a blank desk to put everything else that I don't need, and then the small desk, or they're trays, sorry, and the small tray that actually has this stuff right here. What we're gonna do first, and the way I do it, other people do it certain ways, so just take that with a grain of salt, something along those lines, but this is the way I do it. I will take my first few bits and get a little bit of the film out. Now, depending on your camera, don't do this that much. Most of my 35 mils have a generous amount of film leader that goes in before you actually close the door, so I'm not that concerned with this small amount being out in the light. I get a little bit out, get everything set up, make sure I know where everything is. I make a quick mental note of where my stuff is. So I know I'm going to have my scissors closer to me. I know I'm gonna have my rolls in the middle and the other parts on the outside. That's just kind of how I feel it out. I can still kind of gently touch things if I have to, but the point being is everything within reach, within close reach. I don't want to have to reach over and accidentally knock something over, because that could be a problem. This is about where I am right before I turn off the lights. The lights will be off. I will let everything kind of cool down. Then I will use my phone as my light. And then once I'm ready, I will shut that light off, hide said phone, and then get started. So let me go ahead and blindfold. If you're into blindfolds, then please drop a like. If you're not, then please drop a like anyway. So let me get this on as best as I can. And I know I could just close my eyes, but you know, sometimes the blindfolds can be fun, right? So now, complete darkness. First thing is I kind of make sure I know exactly where I am. So I have my film, have my roll. There are these feeders on the Patterson roll. They have little ball bearings in them. That's kind of what catches the little holes here on the side of the film and feed it in. So I try to make sure I know where those are. Some people will go ahead and remove all the film at once. I don't do that myself. I'm just paranoid that I'm gonna cut it too late or too early. I'm gonna lose track and drop it on the floor. So that's not what I do. What I do is I get a little bit of the film out, like so, and then I start to feed it in. So this is the tricky part. This is the part I always tend to have a little bit of a hard time doing at the beginning. So that feels about right. And it seems like we are good. So I will start rolling this kind of gently. The more you do it, the faster you'll be able to get. I'm not the quickest right now. I've seen folks on YouTube on various videos do this in like seconds. It takes me a little bit longer. So just kind of gauge it every so often, check, see where your film is. And I think we're at the end. So this kit mirror is a 24 roll. So I don't need to go as far, but once I get to the end, once I don't feel any more film, I kind of gently hold it, feel out where the end is, get my scissors, and I kind of push it flush against the canister and then snip. Put that down, resume filling the spool, kind of feel as it feeds through, and then once I feel the end there, and that's it. It's loaded onto the roll. So then I find a little tube part, get the tank, put it in the tank, then I get my lid, grab my lid, load the lid, wait for the click. Click is good. At this point, I just double check, make sure my stuff's nearby, that way I don't knock it over. At this point, this is light safe. You are good to go. At that point, I will turn on my phone, use my flashlight, see where I am, turn on the lights, and then we're good to go. If I'm developing that day, then I just kind of put the little spool winder thingy in, and then I go I go develop it. But if I'm not, say I'm doing it tomorrow or some other day, or if I'm just gonna do it later that afternoon, I will seal everything up, keep this in a drawer in a cool place, and that's it. So pretty simple, not as difficult as you might think. It's definitely something you might want to practice. I just kind of, crossed my fingers the first time and hope that it would go well, and it did. It's not that bad. It may seem a little bit more daunting, but if you just do a couple seconds of prep work, it really shouldn't be a problem at all. As long as you know where everything is, and as long as you don't knock anything over, then you should be golden. Other than that, that's it. It's pretty simple. If you're doing 2 at once, just rinse and repeat until both are ready. Load them both up, lock it up, seal it, and you're ready to go. If you get one of these and some DF96 Cinestill black and white developer, you really can start developing your own film for relatively inexpensive. Like, if you find the right bargain, 50 to 80 bucks. And if you have a couple towels you can throw on the bottom of the door, then you really don't have to worry about getting a bag. So by far the cheapest point of entry into developing your own film in a relatively consistent manner. All right, well, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to leave a comment. I will get back to you as best as I can. I will link some of these things in the description box below. Cinestill has an awesome deal going on, but most of my stuff does come from Freestyle, so I will link that in the bottom as well. So yeah, get you some film cameras, get you some black and white film, get your Patterson tank and some developer, and develop your own film. It's a lot cheaper, relatively easy, and personally I think it's a lot of fun. All right guys, like, share, subscribe. I will see you soon. Okay, bye.